Hello, welcome to Bad at Board Games. My name's Brad Blake, and I'm bad at board games, so you don't have to be. Today we're going to be talking about World Wonders. It's from Arcane Wonders. Interesting. The designer is Z Mendez, and the publisher is, as I said, Arcane Wonders. This is going to be a rapid review. I have not played this 10 times, but I've played it enough that I feel like I can give you a quick overview of the game and my opinion. So, more than once, less than 10. Jumping right in. The theme, you're basically building an ancient city, but you're getting to take all of the world's wonders from wherever they are in the world and build it in your own little spot. So, maybe you're aliens transporting them from Mexico and Asia and plopping them down into your piece of land. That'd be interesting. The mechanics of this game, you're going to have tile placement where you're placing your polyominoes on your board with restrictions. This is your typical polyomino. Every tile has to have like this and this and this to go in a certain spot. We have action points, so you're going to have a track that you're kind of not quite a tableau, not quite an engine builder, but you're going to keep track of the gold you have, and then you have 3 different resources that you're using depending on if it's green or purple or red or blue, and you're going to keep track of that, and that's how the game ends depending on how far the tracks get. And then we have action points, and then there's variable player order. You'll be able to purchase the first player marker or the second player marker, and then everybody shifts down. And then, like I said, you do have tracks, and the tracks in the game kind of build up, and then that's the variable game length, because the tracks kind of have to get filled up with population, and then that triggers the end of game. The player count, the nice thing about this game is it plays from 1 to 5. We've played it at 4 and 5. I like the higher player counts. This is Derek's game. He has played it at 2, and there's a lot more openness. You're not so restricted on what you're trying to buy from the tiles. So once you do, have more people vying for the certain polyominoes or the certain monuments and things, I think that little bit of tension, do I grab it now, or do I try to optimize and wait one turn? But if I wait one turn, that polyomino isn't going to be there because, Brad, that jerk, he took it. And it's not so much take that, it's just like you're trying to optimize your own little engine, and in doing that, somebody may need the same piece that you're trying to go after. In the turn overview, the first thing you do is you kind of clean up the market. All the polyominoes that were out get discarded. You refresh the market, and you place the new polyomino tiles out. And then you're going to put out the new road tiles, any that were removed from the market. You always have the same number of roads available. And then you're going to have these towers that you'll refresh. But this whole set of towers isn't available every round. So there's only a couple or 1 or 2. So if it gets taken, you may have to wait another round for it. So you're refreshing that entire market every turn. And then, like I said, with the turn order, if somebody picked up the first turn marker, I don't have it out here, then you would reorder, put them in the front, and everybody slides down. And if somebody picked up the second player marker, you would put them and everybody slides down. So that's constantly changing, and you're going to have to decide, do I spend a gold to get higher up in player order, or am I just going to optimize everything else, and if I'm last for the next round, I'm last. But you never have to sit there and be last the entire time. And then at the end, kind of like restarting the round, you're going to reset your gold. So in this game, gold starts at 0 and you work your way up to a max of 7 unless you're going to take a loan. And then that tells you when you stop buying the tiles that are out there. So a turn order, you're going to purchase one of the tiles in the market, and the bigger the tile, the more it costs. You can see how many gold is on here. You will move your marker, and this is the wrong marker. So if I bought this tile for 4 gold, I would move this up to 4, and I have 7 gold total in my turn. Once I get to 7, I can't, or 6, maybe there's not a way I can buy anything else. My turn's over, and then I'm waiting for everybody else to finish their turn. You can take a loan, and you're going to take a negative victory point marker that'll allow you to get up to 9 for that round. But then you have to pay that back. You're going to get 2 more coins for your turn, but you're going to have to pay back 3 before the end of the game. Otherwise, you're going to have I feel like it's pretty significant loss in victory points. I can't remember exactly how many, but I remember I'm like, I got to get rid of this. It was enough that I was like, yeah, I don't want to keep that around for the end of the game. You're going to be able to, I think, purchase the tiles. You'll purchase a road, towers, monuments. The monuments are the only thing that replenish. You're going to have, like, depending on your player count, ours at least 5 there's 4 monuments out, and once you took one replenished. The other tiles that are here in the market, once they're gone until the next round starts over. Really kind of liked that whole, variable game length and being able to be the first player or the last player, depending on how you wanted to play it. So I liked the whole mechanics that were going on with the game there. And then once you buy a tile, I didn't even talk about this. You're placing it on your board, and you have this map, and then there's going to be the puzzle that you're working through is that, a building has to be on the edge of a road, has to be touching a road, or it has to be touching another color of the same. And then the monuments are going to say, like, I need to be next to water, or I need to be next to a blue building, or I need to be next to a road, or they're going to have some puzzle that you're looking at, and they may or may not have victory points, right? Well, they're going to have victory points, but some have more than others, and some take up larger plots of land that you may not want to use during your turn. The other thing, the way the game ends is every time you cross over one of these populations, so like this purple one tells me that I'm going to advance on 2 blues, the tech track, and 1 red. But every time I pass one of these white dots, which is a population marker, and it is supposed to be a profile of a head. On camera, that may not show up. You're going to advance the population track. And once you get to the population track, for every ring you have, you're going to get a victory point. When somebody finally gets to the end of this track because they have maxed out their population, that triggers the end of game. And then you count up all your victory points, and there's going to be points for having tiles next to forests, and there's going to be points, how big your areas are, and I won't go into all those details, but it's very typical Polyomino-esque, as you count up your points on your board. One pro I had is that I liked the fact that, we were vying for the same components, and that, you had to be decisional. Am I going to take that now, or am I going to wait? The way the monuments work is that you spend the rest of your gold. So, if you decide to grab a monument right at the beginning, you're going to use all 7 of your coins, and then you're done for the turn, unless you take out a loan to get 2 more. But I'm not sure you can take out a loan after you've taken out a monument. That's interesting. So you don't necessarily want to take a monument too early, because you want to get a couple roads, and you want to buy a monument like when you've used up 6 of your 7 gold, so the monument only then costs you 1 gold, but then somebody might snag it from you. So I like that. I like that, kind of, when am I going to strike? Am I going to, I kept going for the larger tiles, and maybe I should have gone for some smaller ones, but at the same time, everything has to be touching a road, so I have to buy roads to expand and be able to make the areas, and that was an interesting puzzle. I am not a huge Polyomino tile laying game person, but this made it fun. A con for me, I don't know if I have a lot of cons. I think waiting on my turn might have been one of the bigger ones. At least, and so it's a plus and a minus. Like, I prefer the 4 or 5 player game, but at the 4 or 5 player game, I'm kind of waiting for my turn to get back to me. There wasn't enough simultaneous play, like in Planet Unknown, that kept me going and kept me interested, and that did make the game a little bit longer. They say 70 minutes, and I think it probably took a little bit longer than that. It wasn't excessively long. Didn't feel like it overstayed its welcome, which was good. But at the same time, you're waiting on your turn. So the bonus of having somebody, a 2-player game or maybe even a 3, is that it's going to get back to your turn faster, but you're not going to feel that tension of, when do I need to get something at the market? And maybe you're going to feel maybe more like you're playing a solitaire game in that. But that may be something you enjoy. Weight rating, BGG has this sitting at like a 2.24 out of 5. I think this is like a 2. When you look at Castles of Burgundy, which I consider that solid 3, this isn't hard. The hardest thing about it is understanding that you have to have things touching a road. So you have to put the road down before you can put the piece down. And we kept kind of like, oh, wait a minute. Nope, you can't do that. And then kind of had to backtrack. And even Derek and his wife, like, that was the hardest thing to overcome, is understanding, like, the road has to go down before the tile does, or you have to take, that's why these towers are important, so that they can let you have a road that goes somewhere else that you may not have been able to connect to. So there's that glitch in there, and I guess that's a con. But other than that, I think this weight rating is a 2. And then BGG rating. Did you know 70% of you aren't subscribed? Hit that subscribe button. We do fun board game stuff here. BGG has this at a 7.8. And I can see, like, if you like tile placement, if you like Polyomino games, this is easily going to be an 8 for you. For those that like those games, I think this is right in line with them. For those that are kind of more like me, is they're not your favorite mechanic, I think this is a solid version of this mechanic. And for me, it's going to sit at a 7. But I think for people who like Polyomino games, this is going to be one of your 8s. Another game I keep, loving, I think is an excellent game in the Polyomino genre, is Planet Unknown. Mainly because it can play multiple people and you're all having simultaneous play. You're still vying for different polyominoes in the Rondell market, but that's just another option if you're looking for something. This was in the dice tower, one of the dice towers, like in the 40s this year. Their top 100 of all time. I don't know if this would make my top 100 list, but I think it's a pleasant game. What do you think? Do you have this game? Some people compare this to it's a cheaper version of Foundations of Rome, which was another Arcane Wonder game, $200 or $300. Beautiful, cool looking on the table, but still a Polyomino game. Have you played both? Do you like both? I would like to know what you think. Comment down below, and just remember, no matter how you play, whether it's solo, with family, or friends, enjoy whatever you are bringing to the table. Have a great night.